I'm sticking this little bit at the front of my main video in the X-Pro3. I had no idea until getting deeper into the reveal video, and I'm a big nut on titanium. Um, People have no idea. There's no cameras from today are made from titanium. There's a couple throwback. Fujifilm is making the X-Pro3 out of frigging titanium. The stuff is tougher than woodpecker lips. It is extremely lightweight. The reason why nobody uses it, everything today is magnesium alloy and aluminum. Most all of it is magnesium alloy because they do injections. These are actually molded stampings that are then ground and machined. This is the top of the X-Pro3, and this is also a view from Fujifilm of the top of the X-Pro3. Titanium is really, really, I know a few machinists. They tell me about like how miserably disgusting it is to work with titanium. So the X-Pro3 is going to be made out of titanium, and that is frigging unbelievable. That is amazing. I thought it was going to be like a titanium, quote-unquote coating. A lot of people call things titanium that are really made out of magnesium or aluminum. They just call it quote-unquote titanium because it has that look or finish or color cast to it of titanium. But no, these are really titanium. That is frigging unbelievable. Nikon and Sony and Canon, none of those guys are making cameras out of titanium. Unbelievable. That's huge, and that's really difficult. I can't believe Fujifilm is doing that. Kudos to them on that front. Okay, Fujifilm's announced the new X Pro 3. They have not given detailed specifications, such as megapixels, of course, could be the same sensor as is in the XT3, but specific details like buffer and whatnot, but they unveiled it in a live broadcast. This is an older Fujifilm medium format camera, the back of which, and you would actually tear off the type of film that you were using, and you would slide it in this little slot here. So it's exactly like I told you. And here it is, the back of the X Pro 3. This is a color view that you have an option of seeing the film simulation that you're using and the ISO that you actually have set. But I don't think really anybody, honestly, is going to use that particular view. They're just not. What they're going to do is use exactly what I told you it would do. It would be basically like a top, or what we call a sub display, like the top display of a XH1 or the top display of a Fujifilm GFX 50S, and all this would be customizable just as it is on the XH1 and the GFX 50S. So this is the new X Pro 3. The most important thing, and really my only complaint on the X Pro 2, and it's especially a nuisance for those that wear glasses, is this. And this is really the incredible part. This is the viewfinder on the X Pro 3 here on the right, and this is the X Pro 2 on the left. It's a lot frigging larger, and that is awesome. That's really, really nice. Also, too, they went away. See this rubberized coating that's around the X Pro 2? There would be an issue with dust infiltration around the lens that would make its way into the EVF. It was really a minor issue, but the serious issue, not serious, is that this rubberized coating would be like a fly strip, if you will, for dust and collected that. I think they went to a hard polymer on the back of around the viewfinder on the X Pro 3. This is not rubberized, but look how much larger that is. That's a lot larger. So this is a different type of ink display. I forget what this type is, so you can actually display color. Like I said, this is a throwback, but it's a practical throwback. So you have the throwback to the old film back, where and Nikon did this as well. It had this little slot in the back. You'd slide, the cardboard end off of the film that you're using. Except now we actually have a practical one, and here you can see it here. Look how much larger that viewfinder is. That's really nice. I know it comes in 3 different colors. Also, too, everybody kept complaining I saw reading around, but why don't they stick the same LCD on the X-Pro3 as they have on the X-T3? It's not possible. The thickness of this form factor, you cannot stick that hinge and the corresponding metal plate on the back of this thing without it sticking out a mile. You cannot keep that same form factor. People say, well, sure, it could be done. Well, yeah, but then the camera would look obnoxiously poorly designed. You can't do it. You can't have an articulating screen of the type that's on the X-T3 on the back of the X-Pro3. It's not possible. Here you can actually see the flexa cable that actually feeds the LCD on, and they even said, president of Fujifilm in the video, like I said, it basically makes it like a waist level viewfinder. Also makes it useful for getting down low for macro photography. Obviously the rest of the form factor on the camera is basically identical to the X-Pro2. Here are the three colors that it's going to come in. Black. They call this Durablack, but this is basically, looks to me exactly like, it's probably a different finish. Looks like titanium Durablack. It basically kind of looks like a graphite X-Pro2. Let's be honest here. Durasilver. This is powder coat, obviously. Powder coat is extremely tough nuts. So basically we got, I don't care what they call it. It's graphite, black, and silver. You know, they call it Durablack or Durasilver all they want. It's graphite, black, and silver. Let's be honest here. And that's perfectly fine. Yeah, really like the fact that the viewfinder is a lot larger. It's a huge boon for anybody that wears glasses, including me. And they said they're going to officially announce it on October 23rd, which basically means they're going to give you all the full specifications of the camera at that point in time. So there we go. Like I said, I can't see anybody really using this because while this is cute and it's a throwback to the old film cameras, because this is exactly how the end tab of a film canister cardboard container would look, I can't really see anybody using that. It's cute. Everybody's going to be using it like this and then customizing it however they want, just like you can with the XH1 and the GFX50S. So people don't need to be chimping on. People say, well, you know, there's no back LCD display. It's like, yeah, but there's this neat little thing called an EVF. If you want to look at your images, you don't want to flip down the LCD display, use the EVF. And people say, well, how am I going to change my autofocus points? Well, there's this neat little thing called a joystick right here. Yeah, joystick. The X-Pro3's design intent is not made to cover everything the X-T3 does. It's a street sweeper camera. It's a candid shooter's camera. Of course, you could do a lot of stuff, but you know, it's not meant to be what the X-T3 is. Obviously so. You know, if it did all the exact same identical stuff as the X-T3 in form factor and use function, then why would you make an X-Pro3? Obviously so. A lot of people are complaining unnecessarily. Form follows function. The functionality design of the X-Pro3 is not made to mimic identically the form functionality of the X-T3. Obviously so. Thank you so much for watching, and wait for it, Fujifilm.